I've actually never reviewed Winux before, and there's a reason for that. In the past, Winux and the projects that came before it went very heavily with the Windows branding. Windows logos, Windows style icons, Windows branding everywhere. And honestly, I found that a little uncomfortable, but things have changed. The latest Winux release has replaced the old Windows logos with official Winux branding. So I thought to actually take a proper look at this thing. So first of all, let's get something out of the way. Winux is Linux. It isn't Windows. It isn't a modified version of Windows, and it isn't Microsoft Windows with some Linux components added to it. Winux is a Linux distribution based on Ubuntu, and the current 11.26.08 release is based on Ubuntu 24.04 LTS, and underneath the desktop customization, we're dealing with KDE Plasma. So you can think of Winux as Ubuntu plus KDE Plasma plus a lot of customization. The whole idea is to make the Linux feel familiar to someone who has spent years using Windows, and that's actually a pretty good idea. I've downloaded the latest Winux 11.26.08 ISO. The image is quite large, around 6.7 gigabytes, so you're going to need a reasonably sized USB drive to create the installer. I'm going to install it in a virtual machine first, and I always recommend doing this when you're testing a new Linux distribution. You get to see what the operating system is like without immediately changing your main computer. This is the live environment. Just like with many other Linux distributions, it allows you to run Winux directly from the USB drive without installing it to your computer. This is a great way to test the operating system, check that your hardware works, explore the desktop, and try out the included applications before deciding whether you want to install it. Like I said, this is essentially KDE Plasma running on top of Ubuntu, with the desktop environment heavily customized to give it its own look and feel. The underlying system is still Ubuntu. KDE is providing the desktop environment and interface. To install it, simply click on the Winux 11 installer on the desktop. This will launch Calamares, the graphical installer, which is very straightforward to use. In fact, I'd say it's even easier than installing Windows. From here, you can go through the usual installation steps, including selecting your keyboard layout, language, time zone, installation disk, and other basic settings. Once you've gone through the options, the installer will take care of the rest. The installation is now complete. Restart the system or continue using the live environment. I'll leave Restart Now selected and click Done. And now we're prompted to remove the installation media. This is the USB drive if you used a USB to install Winux. And here we are. This is Winux. And the first thing I notice is this actually looks pretty familiar. We've got the panel at the bottom, an application launcher, system tray, clock, desktop icons, and the overall layout is clearly designed to be comfortable for someone coming from Windows. At least now we have some Winux branding. And I think that's a much better approach. If you're going to create a Linux distribution inspired by Windows, make it your own. You don't need Microsoft's logo to tell someone. This works like the computer you're already familiar with. Winux gives you access to the full KDE widget system, and there are quite a few widgets you can choose from. You can browse through the available widgets and you'll find things like clocks, application launchers, system monitors, media controls, and many other useful tools. And adding one to the desktop is really simple. Just select the widget you want and drag it onto the desktop. You can then position it wherever you want, and depending on the widget, you can also resize and configure it. One thing I don't really like is the way Winux handles activation. You get this Activate Winux shortcut right there on the desktop, and it feels very much like the Windows activation message that you might see on an unactivated copy of Windows. I think this could be handled a little more discreetly. Zorin OS takes a cleaner approach where the pro features are presented through the system's settings and appearance options rather than putting an activation reminder right on the desktop. That said, the concept itself isn't unusual. Just like Zorin OS, Winux has a free version and a paid professional tier that unlocks additional features. Winux also gives you a trial period of the professional features before you fall back to the free version. So I don't have a problem with the paid model itself. It's the very visible activation shortcut that I think could be handled better. Let's look at the application launcher. If you've used Windows, you're probably going to understand this immediately. You've got your all applications, you can search for programs, and you can browse through everything installed on the system. But what I really want to highlight here is some of the software that comes with Winux. For example, you've got Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge, so Windows users can continue using a browser they're already familiar with. There's also the Heroic Games Launcher, which gives you another way to manage and play games from stores such as Epic Games and GOG. Winux also includes Microsoft Office online shortcuts, including Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneDrive, and other Microsoft services. So if you're coming from Windows and already use Microsoft 365, you can access those services directly from the application menu. For gamers, Steam is also installed, giving you access to one of the largest PC gaming platforms. For people who need a desktop Office suite, only Office is also included. This is particularly interesting for Windows users because the interface is very familiar if you're used to Microsoft Office. And then we have Winboat, which is one of the more interesting additions. Winboat is designed to make running Windows applications on Linux easier. So this is something I already covered. Just check out one of my videos. Winux also includes support for Android applications, which gives you another option for running mobile apps on your Linux desktop. So right out of the box, Winux is clearly trying to make the transition from Windows easier. Now let's take a quick look at the settings. If you're coming from Windows, this should look very familiar. Winux has clearly tried to organize the settings in a way that Windows users will immediately understand. You've got sections for system, Bluetooth and devices, network and internet, customization, applications, accounts, and so on. Now there's another interesting option here called MS Windows Support. This is essentially Winux's interface for Windows application compatibility. Under the hood, it's using Wine, which allows many Windows applications, especially .exe and .msi programs, to run on Linux without installing Windows itself. When you open it, Winux gives you a few options, and there's Wine Tricks, which gives you more advanced control over installing Windows components and dependencies that some applications might need. So if you're coming from Windows and there's a particular .exe application you can't live without, this is one of the features you'll definitely want to try. Of course, Wine doesn't guarantee that every Windows application will work perfectly. There's even a dedicated customization section where you can switch between different Windows-inspired themes, including Windows 10 and Windows 11 style themes, as well as light and dark variations. And then we have the file manager. Winux uses Dolphin, which is KDE's file manager. If you're coming from Windows, you can think of Dolphin as the Linux equivalent of File Explorer. You've got your familiar folders such as desktop, documents, downloads, pictures, videos, and music on the left, along with your drives and removable devices. And finally, when you want to install more software, you have Discover, KDE's software center. This is probably the easiest way for a new Linux user to install applications without having to touch the command line. You can search for an application, browse different categories, and install software directly from here. And you'll find many of the applications you'd expect, including VLC, GIMP, Kdenlive, and many more. So if you're coming from Windows, think of Discover as being similar to the Microsoft Store. You find the application you want, click install, and let the system take care of the rest. And with that, I think we've covered the important parts of Winux. So after all this time, what do I think of Winux? Honestly, I think the current version makes much more sense to me than the old versions. Not because it looks more like Windows, but because it has finally separated the idea of familiar Windows experience from using Windows branding. And underneath all of this is still Linux. If you're a Windows user who wants to move to Linux but doesn't want to completely relearn the desktop, Winux is definitely something I'd put on the list alongside distributions such as Zorin OS. But I wouldn't choose a Linux distribution simply because it looks like Windows. I'd choose it because it works well for what I actually do. And that's the real test. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.